Good afternoon and welcome to the FIBA Basketball World Cup here in Jakarta, Indonesia. It is Lebanon taking on Canada. It's game day 3 for us, but game day 2 for these two teams, as Canada with a big opening win against France, 95-65 in game day 1. Lebanon losing to Latvia 70-109. Canada were impressive though. Shona Thorburn alongside Mark Clark. How impressed were you about this Canadian team against a very, very good and experienced French team?
Well, I don't think we could have been even more impressed than we were, because spot 1 to 12, these guys contributed. They've got a superstar in, I possibly think a potential MVP of the whole competition. That's what coach said as well. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had one of the games of his life, perhaps, really. And in terms of records, one of the best debut games in a World Cup. And it's just, the great thing for me, though, is they, as a group, played so hard. Defensively, they were exceptional, and they made a very good French team look very ordinary.
You said it, and a lot of it has to do with that man, the new coach for Canada, Jordi Fernandez. I think he has an incredibly bright future as well. I mean, a lot of this Canada team, they're NBA stars. People knew who they were. You mentioned it, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's an all-star, only 25 years old. But what about a debut? 27 points in that game against France, and they didn't have an answer for him in the second half.
Not at all.
First, they got to get past Lebanon. And, they got up for that France game because a lot of people put hype around that game. They said it was the best group phase game in this tournament. So it was easy for them to get hype for that game. How do you get hype for this Lebanon team?
Well, I think that's the one concern we've talked about a lot. Canada aren't an experienced championship tournament team yet. So, you've got to do it day in, day out. Coach talked about it a lot, but talking about it, getting ready for it, you've got to bring it every single day, because, hey, statistically, there's only a couple of areas where if Lebanon can take care of the basketball, they have a real shot at this. If they can restrict the field goal attempts that Canada take, that's the only area that if they can tighten up that. Now, that's easy for me to say. It's a tough ask, but Canada have to bring the A game every single day. Yep, they might go deeper into the bench. Yep, they might get more rotations, but it's still got to be the A game, because Lebanon, second in Asia Cup last year, have enough to worry this Canadian team.
Well, Lebanon, they've had success here in Jakarta. They had a tough night against a very, very hot Latvia team. Just a little shout out, I thought Sergio Darwish was great for them in that game day 1, 19 points. Here, this is what's happening today, Lebanon against Canada, and then a very important game for France against Latvia later tonight. If France lose, that's it for them. They're gonna be playing the qualification round. Here it is, Latvia and Canada standing alone with one win each. France and Lebanon looking for their first win. We will take a short break for the playing of the national anthems.
For the national anthems, we begin with the anthem of Canada. national anthem of Lebanon.
head coach of Lebanon, sending off the gifts to Jordi Fernandez, who just took over this Canadian team recently. Obviously, before it was Nick Nurse, the former head coach of the Toronto Raptors, who really started this direction. Taking over. So the third team, we have in the middle for Basket, Jenna Renault and Diego Urashima are calling today's game. There's so much to talk about when you talk about this player. He is only 25 years old, and boy, is he good. World Cup. Alexander, Powell, Barrett, start against France.
Performance out. Obviously, it's just an amazing debut. In a debut in a World Cup performance. Be unbelievable. Yeah, all-star in the world. Kelly Unix half. You know, it was a and has to be together for Jordi Fernandez. What he realizes
to go along with experience, but now him of Canada and game against Lebanon. And talking about Lebanon, I mean, you know, defensively, I thought they struggled. They allowed 109 points. I don't think you can win a game at a World Cup allowing 109 points, as we see the starting lineup. So Spellman, El Darwish, he had that big game. Ali Hadar and Arakji, he was slow to start along with Mezer. I think Wael Arakji, yeah, you know what? He finished well. You saw that last three go in it late in the fourth quarter, and he hadn't hit one before that. He needs to get on a roll, but this man needs to have another big performance.
I think the trick, if that's a challenge for them, is to that. So 1-2, those two in the backcourt's got to be 4-1-2. Well, Arakji replaces El. That's 14 points in the just in the Continental Championship since 2015. He's only won when he was really young. That's 9.8 points. A bit hard. 1-2 in the back. Spearman needs to do it for 4 quarters, not just in the game plan that he did it the other day. He's obviously he's got it. Go and do all the blue collar stuff too. If he does that, you know, if Canada on where they were the other day, they can get themselves into a game. It's like when you make a fun time.
Yeah, they're going to have a great time watching get off. Lebanon allowed these women. He finished 16.9 of the playing any defense, and he down 3 threes late to add to his point. I think he's all order because he's going to have to protect him. Those guys are going on top of RJ Barrett, who maybe had an off the other night, and someone needs to pick up and SGA. Well, first time since '94.
Long time. And I mean, you can look at his evidence of hope as well. That's ahead between 13 years ago. But Lebanon's been out of international basketball for a while. They've lost their last 5 games in the World Cup. But if they can start, if they can, as we say, to an extent, they're going to give. If they just try and play them straight up, kind of.
Well, we said he needs to have another performance. MVP of the Asia Cup for him. 14 points is a great night, but we've seen him in the high 20s against tough caliber Asian team. Yeah, maybe against Canada. Good look, in my opinion, if Lebanon has a chance. You on defense, the ball.
Well, you've got to try. What SGA is capable of doing, even in traffic, slow him down early. Again, it's very easy for you and I to say. And very easy for anyone at home. Oh yeah, pick him up early, slow him down. Yeah, you try. Because when he was like he was in the third quarter, I'm not sure there's no individual who can slow him down anyway.
Well, we saw it. France weren't able to figure it out, so let's see if Lebanon can. Good afternoon and welcome to the FIBA Basketball World Cup here in Jakarta, Indonesia. Lebanon taking on Canada. Canada looking for their second win in this competition as they win the jump ball, but turnover as Shea was looking to go inside to Powell, and now Arakshi bringing it up for Lebanon. Nazaire kicks it to Spellman. We know Spellman can shoot from outside. Arakshi, strong take and nice finish from the lefty. That's what I love to see.
You called it. Get inside going early. But then he made that for himself. That's a great sign.
Yep. So good job there. Lebanon getting on the board first as Brooks now gets it up to Olenek. Olenek, extra pass to Barrett. Barrett left open. His three-point shot off the mark. Arakshi. Hader thought about it, then takes it off the dribble. Little floater is off the mark. Olenek with the rebounds. Barrett, nowhere to go, turns the ball over and is going to be called for a foul. So good couple defensive possessions there by Lebanon, and that was a good look on the other end for them as well. Yeah,
it's one of those things, isn't it, as we see the turnover. Should he have taken the wide open shot with his feet set, or should he be aggressive? Well, you know, if he'd have made that aggressive move, we'd have been going, oh, it's a great job, he was aggressive. Just picking up on what you said about R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett's a great basketball player. There's no debate. He's already proved that. Since he was a kid, he's proved that. He doesn't need to go looking for stuff. They'll find him.
Oh, Darwish, nice pass inside to the captain, Ali Hader, and an easy finish for them. So good job by Lebanon early in this game as SGA, little shake and bake, finds Powell down the key, and that's going to be a three-point opportunity for Powell. So great job there by SGA. Heads up play, penetrates, draws a couple defenders. A nice off-ball movement by Powell.
See, and you see the replay. Spellman's obviously worried about the potential three-point threat from Olenek on the perimeter. The ball's going up. You know, if they make him throw it out there and then work hard to get back, he's got to get physical on the inside, especially the defensive end. His team really need his physicality to give them that just extra help at the defensive end.
Canada now, after the free throw, looks like they're falling back into a zone.
That's an interesting look, right?
Oh, we didn't see them play zone against France, right?
But that's Coach Fernandez thinking about, this is tournament play. I've got to give myself some options here.
Spellman against, that's a tough pull-up jump shot. Now Canada with an opportunity to run. They get it to the star. And nice little fadeaway, doesn't get the roll. As Spellman comes up with a rebound. Nazaire now. El Darwish. Ball tipped. It's a turnover. Brooks pushing the tempo. Oh, just turns it over. And Olynyk is going to be called for a foul, as I think Arakshi wants a unsportsmanlike.
I'm with Arakshi on this.
But referee Urashima says, no. It's going to be a personal foul. You're going to get the ball back at the half-court line. Canada now. Mentioned it, and we saw it against France. Their defense was excellent. El Darwish shot well off.
El Darwish can't have an off day. Just can't have an off day.
Big to big as Olynyk just lobs it up for Powell. And an easy 2-point bucket as he has 5 points now. All 5 points, actually, for Canada. Oh, tough take by Arakshi, and that are some of the highlights of the Asia Cup MVP from last year.
Well, someone's trying to prove a point today.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to bounce back from his a disappointing opening night.
And I think he waited too long against Latvia to, waited for the game to come to him, where he needs to be aggressive early. Barrett, 3-point shot, he's missed one. That one's back iron. Lebanon, opportunity for an easy 2-point basket, and they just turn it over. Look at this. How? He was behind the backboard. He is a lefty.
Yeah, but he's still behind the backboard.
Not the tallest, not the most physical, not the most athletic, but he knows how to score. As Barrett goes inside to Brooks, a little bit of a mismatch, kicks it back out. And Barrett, that one finally goes in.
And that's exactly what we're saying about RJ Barrett. They're going to find him enough times with real open looks. And on this team, you're going to get a lot of open looks.
Nice defense here by SGA as Mézières, well defended, finds Spellman though. Spellman, a little fadeaway, tough shot over Olynyk is good. So great start here, a different start. This is a different Lebanon team from opening night.
Now, I think people underestimate, the nerves of the World Cup.
Oh, Barrett to Olynyk. And talk about Canada. I mean, they played incredibly unselfish against France. They had 20 assists compared to and only 10 turnovers. That's a pretty good assist to turnover ratio.
Absolutely, you'll take that.
Mézières gets it back. It's the MVP for Lebanon. Arakshi, a little shake and bake, failing away, no good. Olynyk now, Canada. This is where they're dangerous, right?
Yeah.
RJ Barrett throws it down. Spellman got a mismatch, kicks it out though. Hader can't hold on to it as he just falls, slips actually, and ball out of bounds. Every time you put up a bad shot, look at this.
Yeah.
Every time you put up a bad shot or you turn the ball over against a good team, and Canada is a good team, you pay.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about before the game, trying to reduce their field goal attempts. They had something like 12 more field goal attempts than Lebanon in the first game, and it is through their defense, their offensive rebound, and all those things.
Welcome to the world, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. How easy does he make it look?
Too easy. Too easy. I was halfway through talking about something completely irrelevant to that. Wow, he's amazing.
And another turnover for Lebanon. And Canada not able to get out and push it, but fancy ball handling by Shai as no one stops him and splits the defense in an easy 2-point bucket for him as Lebanon are going to call a timeout. And let's try and listen in to see, what does coach want to talk about? You think, be careful, turnovers are going to lead to easy baskets?
It was 8-8, it's now 16-8. Started with the bad shot, they ran it down, turned it over, ran it down, got down the middle, ran it down. If you don't slow them up, as we said, they're going to get good looks. If you make bad shots, you said in commentary, you're going to get paid. You've got to stop the ball early, however you do it. Let's take a listen.
Again, I'm going to start on. Our sheet starts from one-on-one. Everyone is turning his back to the ball. This is on defense. If they go low post, I go 23. This guy will not leave the shooter. Offensively, pass the fucking ball inside. Once they score inside, they will take care of big guys you can create. Out of 1-on-1 all the way, no way. You scored one, you scored one. No way to do it every single time. Pass the fucking ball inside.
Well, sorry for the language, but it's passion.
Yeah,
and you have to understand. And these coaches, these players, the staff, everyone, the fans, there's a lot of passion. And that's all that was. So you heard it. He doesn't want them to defensively leave the shooters. You know, you pass it in, you can't turn your head and look to see where the ball is and leave an open shooter.
And down this end, I mean, one of the things where it started, that 8-0 run, Spellman had it in the post in the mismatch and gave it up. And in some ways, are they going to get a better look than that? Are they going to get a better look than Spellman? And he started well. Nice couple of fadeaways, which is what he really does really well. It's a great touch. Are they going to get a better look than him with a mismatch 10 feet from the hoop? He's got to take responsibility and be accountable for it, because that's the level of player he is.
Arakshi is going to get called for a travel. It was right in front of us. I wasn't watching his feet, but the referee obviously was.
I mean, whether it was or it wasn't, that's kind of the defense. Brooks chased him, and he had to do things a little quickly. And I'm not sure if it was either, but you've got to credit the defense for the way they speed you up.
Olenek goes inside the Brooks. Brooks, tough inside basket there for Brooks. And Brooks, you know, he's one of the best defenders on this Canadian team.
It's almost as though Lebanon have poked the bear a little bit too early. You know, they started pretty well, and Canada just, hey, well, if you're going to play, we're going to play you hard.
Woo! Spellman with some fancy ball handling there. A little step back, and Kelly Olynyk's a good defender.
Yeah. Well, that's taking some being responsible for stuff and being accountable.
You asked him to be more responsible.
Absolutely.
Olenek to Brooks. They find Barrett in the corner. He doesn't shoot, but he penetrates. SGA, three-point shot off. Powell, big offensive rebound. Tough shots as he wants the foul, but it doesn't matter. He made the basket anyway. Canada leads 22-11, and 7 points for Dwight Powell early in this game. Spellman's already hit one, so Olenek has to close out aggressively. Shot off the front of the iron. Gilgeous-Alexander. And Brooks left wide open. You can't leave a good team open. As that shot goes in, and now Canada, they're feeling it.
For the rest of the World Cup, other teams across this is worrying for them, because Canada are looking like a team that believes now. They're looking really confident with each other. And all those things that Coach Fernandez would have said, hey, maybe Coach is right.
Yeah.
You know? Well, if we share it, if we look, we don't have to look for tough ones, because if we move the ball, we're going to get good ones every trip. It's that's a really impressive reaction to the way Lebanon started the game. They have really, hey, okay, guys, we got to play, and they're just playing some great basketball.
Il Darwish picked up the foul just to slow it down. Some substitutions now as Lebanon fall back into a zone. Brooks made that last three for Canada. Gilgeous, they almost turned it over. No, referees say it was tipped. Shot clock not reset though. Olenek left open. In and out as Spellman comes down with a rebound. Arakji now. Oh. I think he slid his pivot foot, but that was a great shot fake. I think that's the right call. Take a look. Yeah.
Well, he dragged it and he picked it up.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I'm not sure they'd made the call if they hadn't made the call before. It's almost like, oh, he traveled before. It was a travel, you know, but like, he got bumped into the travel as well. It's one of those ones that often gets let go.
Alexander Walker into the game, along with Bell Haynes getting some playing time early in this game, and Scrub.
Well, Lou Dort looks injured, right? He's not in uniform. He's like, he's in
street clothes.
He's in his civvies.
Yeah.
So like the rotation just slips down a bit because he was obviously one of the first rotation guys in the other day. And I don't think it looks, we haven't been told, it doesn't look too serious at all. It's just, it's a long tournament.
It is a long tournament, and you don't want to, take too many risks if there is something nagging. And Mark, how deep is this Canada bench? We saw it the other night, especially against France, where, you talk about France, they had players play the entire first quarter where Canada were going to their bench early, so this is not unusual for Canada, as Ejim is going to draw the offensive foul, as he likes what just happened. So ball back to Canada.
It's a good start by Ejim, but like I've got to say, we asked some questions about Amari Spellman in the first game. He's really responded well. He's trying to be more aggressive. He's trying to take more responsibility. So, he needs. And if he's going to shoot the ball more, his guys need to know that and get on the glass, because he hasn't taken a bad shot, but they've got to look to get on the glass.
And Bell Haynes draws the foul. Yeah, I think for Spellman, that first game against Latvia, he hasn't played in FIBA games before. Okay, yeah, Villanova, right? NCAA champion a while ago. He's been playing over in Korea. It's different. It's a different game, and I think it'll take him a little bit of time to get adjusted, shall we say. Bell Haynes, shot in the corner is good, and that's his first 3 points in this tournament, I believe.
Yep. We talk about like Scrub and Bell Haynes coming into the game. They both played in like Europe Cup teams. If that's the bottom of your rotation, you're in a great place.
And no one there for Saud as he just passes the ball. You always want someone 45 when penetration happens though, right?
It's almost like someone should have been there, but there wasn't, so he shouldn't have thrown it. But
this is how Canada make you play. They make you play rushed.
That's exactly it. They make you try and make plays.
Alexander Walker, Ejim to Phil Scrub. Phil Scrub, he's already hit one from there. And make that two, folks. So a great start for Canada, 29 points, under 30 seconds left in this first quarter. Spellman now gets it to Mansour, and almost another turnover. But it's gonna stay Lebanon ball. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. There's about a 5-second shot clock, game clock differential in this first quarter. Spellman. Zinoon. Ooh, nice take. Not able to finish is Amir Saud. Almost a three-point play.
It's a good read, good take as well. He protected it well, went with a hand to ensure the ball wasn't blocked.
As his first free throw is good, and first free throw attempt for Lebanon as well.
It's going to sound like we're really on a positive about Amari Spellman, but he got open on the out of bounds, moved it quick, then did actually do something to set the screen away from the ball. He's not played with this team full stop in a proper competitive game until game one here. He's had some prep games, but it's tough. You're going against like great teams.
Alexander Walker, tough shot, fight for the rebound, is gonna get back to Lebanon. They throw it up ahead, no good. Trey Bell Haynes, not enough oomph on it, as that is gonna end the first 10 minutes of this game here. Group H action, Canada leading Lebanon 29-13 after 10.
Good job. We won the first quarter. We gotta get the next one, okay? So right here, what we're gonna do is Phil, you're here. No, my bad. Yeah, Phil, you're here. Mel, you're first screener. Kyle, you're second. Nikhil, the play goes towards you. I Trey on this side, so we're right here. We're gonna go away.
Well, the best plays, we'll give you a line on some of the stats, but the most important thing about that, it was 8-8. Yeah. 21-5 after the 8-8, and I use the phrase like poking the bear. But Lebanon did start really well, and especially we asked about Arakji, getting to the hoop, and he really started and did lead the team in that. But then you poked the bear, and the bear woke up, and the bear really did play. And this is RJ Barrett's first three. He'd taken like 3 before that. And it looked like he was beginning to get it, I've got to go and get my points. He doesn't need to do that. He's a great basketball player. And this Canadian team find the open man as they did when he was on the break like that, they're always going to find the open guy. And that's, for me, the most impressive thing about this team. They don't take many bad shots. And when you can get above the ring and they're that quick breaking the defense down, why do you need to force anything? It's interesting to see how they've evolved even this early in the competition after that great performance against France. There's that courtside 1891 app. Go out, download it from your normal source, all the action, on demand, live, stats, news stories, any clip you want, download that app. You'll see that QR code at various points during the game. But I hope Lebanon stay positive with us because they started well. I'd like to see him decide to maybe, if it's a zone or something, just say, well, we score against us in one way. Let's see what happens.
Well, second quarter action underway here. And you said zone, but it's actually Canada in the zone out of the first quarter. Saoud. And nice ball movement and passing there as El Darwish is the final recipient and an easy 2 points for him. So great job there by Lebanon to get first 2 points of this quarter. They started the first quarter well. Hopefully they can get a good start as Alexander Walker penetration kick. He's already hit 2, folks, and make that 3. 3 for 3 for Bell Haynes.
It's a great pass where everybody defensively got sucked down below the circle. Just a beautiful pass.
And Canada, again, I think we're going to be talking about their defense all tournament long, but the way that they are able to get up and pressure this Lebanon team, we saw them do it the other night against France as well. They're scary.
Yeah. Well, tempo is the big thing in this World Cup already. The teams that play with tempo, offensively and defensively, are impressive.
Ejim. Tip pass to Scrub. Lots of time on the shot clock. He penetrates. And that's a 3-point bucket for Melvin Ejim. One of the veterans on this Canadian team. He was at the last World Cup along with his teammate on the floor with him right now, number 23, Phil Scrub. They're looking to go inside. They can't. Saoud gets it to the captain. Oh, but his pocket is picked, and now it's a 4-on-1, and that is going to be a foul. So smart decision, actually, because it was going to be a highlight play, that's for sure.
Sure. Genuine. It's a relatively genuine attempt to play the ball as well. The ball's there. He's gone for the basketball. Took a lot of player, obviously, but I think requests for an unsportsmanlike are a little bit harsh.
Canada with the ball, they get it up to Alexander Walker. He finds Ejim penetration, fancy move there, and a nice easy finish for him. Scoring just looks easy for Canada.
Because they moved the ball so well. It's so hard defensively to contain the ball with that much, there's quickness with the ball, and the ball moves quickly out of that quickness with the ball.
Well, they already have 12 assists in this game.
I mean, and they've got this mentality now that actually wants to share, wants to get high percentage shots.
12 assists on 15 made baskets.
Yeah.
And another turnover. Scrub Can it be 4 in a row? It is, folks, and that's 4 for 4 for Bell Haynes. Didn't play a lot the other night. He only played roughly 4 minutes at the end of the game, correct?
Yeah.
And good job there by Ali Hadar.
Well, he had great numbers for Bucharest in the Europe Cup last season. He's on his way to the ACB in Zaragoza. There's a reason he's going to go and play in the best league outside the NBA.
And finally, Canada misses. It feels like they haven't missed a shot in a while as Arakshi. Ooh, fancy move as he makes it all the way to the basket. And he wants the foul. They got to get back on defense. Ejim. Back out to Alexander Walker. Alexander Walker kicks it to Ejim. Ejim's made one as well and make that 2 tonight. Wow. Is it hot in here? Or is Canada just on fuego?
Well, they're making it hotter.
Arakshi. In Canada, they're just so strong. They switch everywhere as well. As Bell Haynes saw the mismatch, and he just goes ahead and fouls Gyokchin.
It's just a scenario where they are wanting to play. They're going to give up things now and again, Canada, because they're switching everything, because they're going after everything. But they're massively in credit for that. They're making teams take shots they never look for, don't want, as opposed to they're getting shots exactly like they want.
And another turnover for Lebanon. Bell Haynes finds Scrub. Scrub.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure everyone for Canada who has scored, minus Lou Dort,
Wow.
who is on the bench. Actually, no, sorry, Alexander Walker has not scored for Canada. Arakshi, tough take, nice offensive rebound, and the putback, no good though.
We got away with a massive walk.
Ezzedine. And a foul is going to go against El Darwish. And you know what? Against Canada, you need to use your fouls in that kind of fast break, semi-transition, right?
That's exactly it. You don't give up bad fouls. You literally have to use them to slow the game down as often as much as you can. You've only obviously got 4 of them, but you've got to use them in that way. That's got to be part of how you decide to control the tempo.
Well, Coach El Haj there. Phil Scrub up to Edie. Edie, the youngin', the big man, takes his time, gathers, and goes up. So Zach Edie getting some playing time early as well. He did check in, played a couple minutes at the end of that 30-point blowout against France. Canada now 48-19 with over 5 minutes left to play in this quarter. Ejim, Bell Haynes. Oh, nice pass inside to Ejim, and his shot's blocked though, so good defensive possession as they come up with the steal as well. And they get it to Arakshi. Wael Arakshi now. Really nowhere to go. Uses the screen, goes against the big man. Wow, how about that? Scoring over Zach Edie. You know, he's used to going up to some tall players. They played China in the quarterfinals, was it, at the Asia Cup, where he had a huge game. And China has some tall, tall players. Scrub, Alexander Walker, shot fake, penetrates, just throws it up and says, Edie, go get it, big man. And it's gonna be a foul on the ground, so ball is gonna stay. And that will be the 14th foul for Lebanon. Some substitutions here for both teams. Barrett is coming back into the game along with Brooks and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, as well. I think it was Amir Saoud checked out for Lebanon, and we see Karim Zainoun check back into the game. Easy inbounds play, and that's another 3-point shot for Canada as Alexander Walker now joins the scoring frenzy here for Canada. They are up 30, Mark.
Oh, it's just, it's contagious. It's literally contagious. I know confidence breeds confidence.
Spellman, nice pass by Arakci. His shot is off the mark. And we saw some hot shooting by Latvia on game day 1, who is also in their group. So these two teams, Latvia and Canada, will play each other on game day 3 as Edey uses his height, just turns around and scores easily.
Well, he averaged 22 points a game last season. I mean, Edey can score. You know, okay, it's college basketball, but like he can score, full stop. When he does what it says on the tin, he's big and he can keep it up and he's got really soft hands.
Gilgeous Alexander not able to score, but draws a foul, so we'll go to the free throw line. Yeah, I mean, okay, NCAA basketball, maybe not quite the same as FIBA World Cup, but 22 points a game.
You know, it's like, there's going to be a timeout here for Lebanon and we can get to hear it, but it's like, and we talk about confidence and everything else, but the thing about Canada is they're in a rhythm at the minute. They move the ball in a rhythm, and unless a team starts to take them out of that, they're not going to start missing, because it's not as if you've got guys who need space to shoot it. They can get it away quickly. And it's going to be a real challenge. I mean, we'll see, you know, when they play Latvia, how well Latvia can try, because France tried and they couldn't. Latvia have a little bit of foot speed, but they might not necessarily have the inside strength to stop them going inside. I mean, you're going to get like examples of it here. You know, their ability to penetrate, kick, find the open man, and the closeouts are late. The ball is already above the eye line, so they've got a clean look at the basket so often. One, they move well to create space. Two, the pass to release the three is right on the money. It's Sergio Scariolo in his timeouts with Spain talks about the generosity of his team. You can't get a better example of how generous each other are than this Canadian team. It's not about passing, it's about how well you pass the ball, how well you move, because you'll move knowing you're going to get it. Yeah. If you're not expecting to get it, you start standing still. They have moved on so far from the first quarter against France already in this tournament. Just in that part, they're in a very good place, and you know, coach talks about it. It's his job to keep them in that place.
Yep. Yeah, and you know, I don't want to say we questioned before the game how is Canada going to get up for this game, because it was easy to get up for the France game. You know, you're going against one of the top teams in the world. You know, the reigning bronze medalists, Olympic medalists from the Tokyo Olympics. So obviously everyone was hyped. The media was hyped. We were hyped. The crowd, it was a sold-out crowd here, 15,000 for that game against France. And, you know, yeah, Lebanon, no dig on Lebanon at all. It's hard to make this tournament. 80 countries start out, and now you're just down to 32, so you have to be some of the best in the world to be playing here. But maybe not quite as good as France as far as talent goes. So how do you get up for every game? Well, Canada know the way, clearly.
Well, and coach will talk about, it's about how we perform, how we're accountable to ourselves. Because if someone doesn't do it, I don't think he has to pick it up. I think there is someone on that team who's going, hey, that's not what we are. And you see that with Spain over the years. You see that with the best USA teams. Mm-hmm. It's not about coaches pick. It's about the group's accountability. Yeah. Because if SGA says to you, hey, you haven't lifted, I was going to find you. You're going to lift next time, because you know he's going to find you. Yeah. That's so much more powerful than anything else.
I think that's a great point. Accountability, but holding each other accountable as players holding each other accountable. And I love it. I think, you know, they had that statement win over France in the first game, as nice ball reversal there. And missed opportunity. Good penetration and patience by Lebanon. You know, I think they had a statement win, and they wanted to prove something. Yeah, there was a lot of hype about this Canada team because it is the best Canada team ever, let's be honest, as far as talent goes, but they were missing experience. And, you know, they need more experience, and they're going to get experience every day. And Coach Fernandez says, we got to get better 1% every day. Right now, they're getting better about 20% every day.
They're getting better 20% during a game.
During a quarter, it's just going up. You're absolutely right. Lebanon now.
Sounds like we're a little bit of a Canadian lobby.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I love it because you see teams play international basketball and you've got to sacrifice and you have to share the ball because everybody's a good player.
Yep. Arakshi. Hey, dear. Spellman now. Spellman. Oh, nice pass inside. Great look there by the big man from Lebanon. So they trail by 30, 2.5 minutes left to play. Shea gets hit and somehow knocks it down as you're just laughing.
He was looking for the foul. He still puts it up. It still drops. It doesn't matter. You know, it's whatever they're putting up. They're getting good looks, and then even the looks when they're on the floor, they're making them.
That corner three is off the mark by Ezzedine. And Barrett, no good, but Olynyk there for the easy putback for Canada. Just under 2 minutes here before halftime. Arakshi. And that shot was high arcing, but it doesn't matter because Kareem Zainoun knocks it down, but no one gets back on defense, and that is not what you can do against Canada. No. It takes them about 2.5 seconds to get the ball down the court, and if you're not ready to defend, you're in trouble. Arakshi, he's got the big man on him. He wants it back, obviously. A little shake and bake. He's going to shoot that three, and it's off the mark. So Canada now, it is a 4-on-2. Barrett, easy run, and they are just, Lebanon look fatigued, to say the least.
Why wouldn't you? Doesn't matter, he's tried to rotate, coaches tried to rotate players, but the pace and the tempo that Canada are being relentless with is going to stretch any team. Okay, it's stretching Lebanon. We're talking different levels in terms of the talent on the floor. As we get the replay, it's going to break your heart if you're Lebanese, because even when you're on the floor, you know, you're sitting down on the floor by the time you release the ball, you're still making it. But the big thing for me is I think they understand why they're playing well and how they're playing well. They're not just beating up on a team that they're more talented than. It's like, how many really great individual moves have we seen? Not that many. What we've seen is great penetration, great quickness, that their ability to share the ball to either create a drive lane or create an open look. That's why they're looking so impressive. They're shooting great percentages because they're creating open looks.
Well, another foul. And Canada are going to get the ball back. 16 seconds left. What a first half. 63 points for Canada so far as Barrett. And that shot's off. Almost had his own rebound. So did Edey. But Lebanon now, they got a couple good looks, but they just look worn out against Canada. They don't have the same energy that they started with when it was 8-8. And I guess that's kind of understandable. And a nice job there by Zainoun.
Zainoun again, he made the three, then he gets it off the dribble. It's not about that this Lebanese team can't play. They are a very good level team.
Barrett. And no good, but nice rebound. Edgin Brooks, step back three-point shot is good at the buzzer, folks. And that kind of puts an exclamation point on the kind of half Canada has had here in Jakarta. And the crowd is loving it as he blows them kisses. Well, Lebanon trailing big at halftime. 30-66 over Canada.
Well, hopefully going to get a look at some stats right now, and if you want to be impressed by stats, a team shooting 61% from the three, 75% from the two, with 23 assists, and they've out-rebounded their opponent, and with minimal turnovers. Bell Haynes came off the bench, hardly played in the first game, has 12, hasn't missed a three. I don't know where the headlines stop on this team in that first half. And you know what though? There's going to be a locker room where it's like, how can we get better? Because that's all coach talked about in their post-game press conference after game day 1. But their ability to move the basketball, their ability to break people down has been incredible. Well, the guys we looked at before the game, let's just say about Arakchi right off the bat. He came out with a point to prove, played well, 4 from 6 from the 2. He's only taken 1 3, which we can talk about a little bit when we see the best plays. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has just been, he's been him. You know, he made one of those 2 of those 8 points sitting on the floor, for God's sake. But he sets the tone now for this team. It's not like it's just about him anymore. It's about, hey, we're all going to get involved. We're all going to share it. And you get a highlight for Bell Haynes. Why not? Like, take any one of his 4 threes, 4 from 4, just phenomenal. But the one point while we're going to look at these highlights, because there's so many, and you made it during the commentaries, that Canadian defense forces you. They switch everything, even when, because the tendency would be, oh, okay, Zach Edey's on the floor. Maybe we don't switch him. No, he's switched. He's out there guarding the MVP of the Asia Cup. And he says, right, how do I play you? Well, coach has told me I'm going to do this. And all he offered him was a 3. He stepped off, he gapped him. All right, if he makes it, he makes it.
Contested 3.
Absolutely, because when you're reading, you gap it. You can be that big and you can still keep your hand up in the eye line. But this team is 100% bought in to what coach is asking them to do. They're 100% bought into each other. And when you're in that place, it's a case of how can we get better little by little across the tournament. Can't say enough great things, though, about Spellman as we see him make the pass. Challenged him a little bit. He was challenged himself because he was probably disappointed after his first day performance. He shot the ball well. He's taken responsibility. He's made a really couple of nice hoops. He's had more of the basketball and has done really well. And just to put that exclamation mark, as you said, no time on the clock. Let's just step back and make a 3. That's an A1 level performance by the Canadians.
Well, that was the last shot of the second quarter. It is halftime here. Lebanon trailing Canada 30-66. We will be back for some halftime second half action shortly.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are all on the same team.
We have the power to change lives through basketball.
Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together.
Basketball for good.
Play the board for team now. Jones, that top scorer from the NBA G League. Alley inside. Oh my goodness gracious! Well, good evening, Manila. What a way to start here from South Sudan.
Portis, after good work from Reeves.
Great read on the cover. Diaz in the pass lane, almost comes up, and Moulay goes up. Oh! Garuba from the weak side just, again, defends the ring. Thiago pushes, comes off the ball screen in transition. Through his legs, a little bit of showtime for 2 is good. And welcome to the World Cup party, Brazil.
Great job, nice start. He played in 10 games for Brazil during the qualifiers for them to make it to this tournament, averaging just under 15 points.
Abbas had a look, doesn't score. Tetacumpo drives in. Are you kidding me? And 1. What a shot. Hilly. Oh, Caro.
Shoulder down, head down. Extra pass made, his buddy Toby.
The vision, the execution.
Okay, backdoor feed, and this place is exploding. Tokos and Jelia.
Well, it's a nice finish, but again, it's that man, Sinsaze, setting it up. Good call, gets Shengalia.
Nieto into the lane behind the back. Oh, what a throwdown. And you can see Coach Demir, do I take the timeout, do I not? 10-4 start for Brazil, and it's all been at the ring.
One more, I will let it fly from
Wow!
Jordan, he gets it before the half!
Oh.
Holy smokes, Jordan Zamora!
Well, that's symbolic of the shooting we've seen from Venezuela this first half. From the three-point line, 12 of 25 in the three-pointer. Leg bomb, nothing but net.
Way in the flush. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Well, Canada up big at halftime over Lebanon, as there you see the game leaders, Belle Haynes, 12 points, all of those coming from the free throw line, 4 for 4 from three-point range. And what a first half it has been, as that man checked into the game, didn't play a ton of minutes against France opening night, but proving his worth and a reason why he is one of the top 12 players in Canada and on this team. But really, I mean, there's so many people that we can talk about on this Canadian team, because they went to the bench really, really early tonight, and every single player came in and did something good.
Yeah, it's not as if anyone can accuse Canada whether you're beating up on Lebanon here, because That's the way they played against France. France are, you know, what, ranked 5 in the world. They're a bronze medal. They're multiple medalists at world and Olympic level. Runners-up in Eurobasket, and then Canada just dealt with them as though like it's that's what they do. So it's not as if they're playing like this because this is the way they're playing now. And it's a joy to watch. You know, this game is a team game. You share the basketball. They've got their ideal mix now of real talent that want to play together. And if you think of the teams that win world championships, win World Cups, Spain, a talented group of talented guys that want to play together. And that theme when the US won in 14 and 10, you know, those 2 years in particular, you know, Kevin Durant's first World Cup, that was a group of talented guys who wanted to play together. And that mix is difficult to get. They're not reliant entirely on a star. Yep. They've just got stars coming out of a great system. And it's this is where Canada look like they've got to. They had reasonable prep. You know, they lost some games, they won some games, and but then they rock up, take on one of the best in the world in France, and they've obviously built on that performance for today because they haven't rested on that saying we're a good team. We'll just, you know, as you asked, how are they going to play? Well, they've played the same way. They're beating a team by more because Lebanon aren't as good as France.
Right.
You know, it's an impressive day.
By more, they beat France by 30.
Well, in the end, they beat them by 30, but
yeah.
You know, 3-point game and a half, and I think at the end of the day, they wore France out. Their defense just wore them down as the game went on. And as you said in commentary, they have worn Lebanon out. I mean, it's an impressive team performance because the tempo has been relentless throughout that first half.
Well, good start by Lebanon. I mean, they came out, scored 8 early points, some good defensive possessions. I thought, you know, Wael Arakji, the Asia Cup MVP from last summer, you know, I said he needed to get going early because against Latvia, he was waiting for the game to come to him instead of going out being aggressive, being the player he is. And he did do that, and he finished with 8 points. We saw a couple highlights and his stats pop up. But then, you know, it's hard to continuously do that against a team that just defensively, they can switch at every position. They put you into tough situations. Spellman, I know he only has 5 points, but I thought he came out and looked more aggressive than he did against Latvia. Defensively, what can they do differently against Canada in the second half? I mean, don't forget, against Latvia, they let Latvia shoot 51% from three-point range. You know, Latvia ended up with 35 assists on their 109 points. Right now, Canada shooting 61% from three. They already have 23 assists.
What can they do? Well, let's just be honest about it. At the end of the day, they're never going to be able to stop them. They've just got to decide how they want them to score. So they could do worse than just say we're going to spread a zone, we're going to put a shape on the floor, we can match up on that spots, but then everyone on that Canadian team can break you down on the dribble. You'd like to see, because don't forget again, we keep reminding people of this, there's classification games. That's where Lebanon are going to go, to the classification games. And because of the way you qualify for the Olympic Games, their tournament is not over at all. So they've got to get themselves in a position where they can try and win some of those classification games. So coach is going to have to put something on the floor that he thinks is going to be useful for him and his team in those classification games. Because life doesn't get any easier for Lebanon after this because they play France.
Yeah. Well, second half action here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. It is game day 2, Group H, Lebanon taking on Canada, and they are down big, folks, 30-66. What a first half for Canada as Lebanon, now Spellman, loses the ball, and I believe it was last touch by Red. No, the referees won't talk about it. From my position, it looked like it was touch, but no. They said it is actually going to go to Canada, so I guess Spellman on the little reverse dribble slips out of his hands. So Canada now, same starting lineup that they have gone with to start the game, and in their first game against France, backdoor cut. Barrett not able to catch it, tips it out to Brooks. Brooks is going to be called for a travel, though. Canada, not a lot of turnovers. That's their 8th team turnover. They didn't have a lot against against France either. They only had 10 turnovers against France. So they do a pretty decent job. Barrett now, nice defense. And Arakshi has to throw it out, gets it to Spellman. Spellman gives it up. And tough take, almost a turnover. I don't know how Zaynoun got that shot up, but he did. Wow, what a game he's having. We talked about Arakshi, but maybe we need to talk about Karim Zaynoun. 10 points, 4 for 4 from the field from him.
Wow. He had no other option and everything else, but he's been exceptional. He didn't get a lot of time early, but since he's come in, has been very, very, very impressive. Spellman again, though, trying to be active, trying to become available. It's a much better performance for him, which, you know, if he's going to be a naturalized player, it's a good sign for Lebanon.
Penetration, ooh, just turns it right into the hands. Olynyk now, Olynyk. Easy 2-point basket for Kelly Olynyk, as he has 4 points already in this third quarter. We saw him score last possession down for Canada as well. And Darwish, it's been a quiet afternoon for Darwish. Arakshi, no good, wanted the foul. Canada, they have numbers. You can't complain to the refs. You got to get back and defend, because if you don't, that's what happens. And another 3-point basket. RJ Barrett left wide open in the corner.
Well, we keep saying that they will find Barrett when he's good enough, more than good enough, one of the best.
And good help side defense as Barrett got his feet outside of that semicircle, I guess. That's a good call by the referee, in my opinion.
Yep.
As Krukchin is going to get called for the offensive foul. So ball back to Canada. Brooks. Skip pass, Olynyk left wide open. Doesn't shoot it. Spin move, baseline. Hits it out to Brooks. Brooks, penetration, no good. Olynyk there for the tip-in, though. And how about this defense? As Gilgeous Alexander calmly lays that ball in. He plays so calm. I don't know how to describe his game. Nothing seems hard.
No, it's all, that's exactly it. It's all within his own time.
And nice passing by Lebanon, no good. It's going to be a rebounding foul going against Canada as Barrett pushed, I believe it was Spellman in the back.
And we talked about Darwish before the game because he had such a good game day one against Latvia. And we said he needed to be added to. He needs to stay at the same level. He really has struggled in this game, and that's again it's never going to make the difference between the 40 points. But in terms of where Lebanon are as a team, they need him to be a little bit more consistent, and then everybody feels comfortable with what he does.
Darwish, defended by Olynyk, penetrates, kick, and turnover. And watch out, it's a 3-on-2. Mezier, good job getting back. Oh, just throws it up. And Powell not able to finish as Olynyk is fouled from behind by Krukchin.
So there's a great example show, like Gokshin down the other end. Where is it within the things that Lebanon want, where they want him on the three-point line, trying to go behind his back, through his legs to get to the basket? Move the ball, be effective where you can be effective. And he turns it over, and Olynyk has been, this is the great thing about this Canadian team. Fairly quiet, started the game pretty well, but fairly quiet in the first half. Come out in the second half, and he wants his 5th point, and he's up and down, he's in passing lanes. Everyone on this team makes contribution. I mean, like Coach Fernandez has that problem that every coach wants. It's about getting the right guys, the right balance on the floor, and always looking positively about changes to make.
I also think everyone accepts, we don't have to be all-stars.
Wow.
We want to win. What's the best way for us to win? Yeah, it's probably not one person scoring 40 points, even if they could. Spellman, shot fake, Linux left his feet, Powell with a defensive rebound. Gilgeous Alexander easily to the basket, not able to convert that time, but ball is gonna stay this side of the court. He thought there was a foul, but referee says no, I didn't see anything. Gilgeous Alexander with the throwdown as Kelly Olynyk, the captain, says, woo, I like that boy, look at this.
Well,
he makes it so easy.
If you want to challenge the shot before and it feels like he's been fouled, you poke the bear again. Then that's the response you get.
Okay, you didn't call the foul last time? Well, this time I'm going to take it hard to the basket, so you got to make a choice.
Yeah.
So, shot off the mark, Canada. Gets it out to Brooks. Brooks behind the back finds SGA. SGA pulls it out. Again, taking his time. And he's going to be fouled. So new shot clock and ball on the sideline for Canada. Here it is.
Well, if you want, we can talk about what the defense could have done, but I don't think
I don't know if the defense could have done anything.
No, short of someone getting in the highlight picture, nothing.
And turnover, good defense there by Lebanon. And they pass the ball up the court. Mazer now running the offense, gets it to Saud, kicks it over. El Darwish, quiet night. He had 19 points in that game against Latvia. He only has 2 points here today and another turnover. That's their 18th turnover, I believe. Oh, RJ Barrett!
Haydar stayed down after that. You got a picture of him there, like he sort of rolled it. Everyone in the gym was watching this.
I was watching this too. As Ali Haydar, the captain, number 11. Good news is he's up and walking a little gingerly though, as we're gonna listen into this timeout by Lebanon.
One more guy. Spain was great, but we took the wrong side. Okay, Spain was great. So I'm gonna keep attacking Minna. If you want to play the pick and roll, you set the Spain. I'm gonna go from horns now. Okay, so Ali here, Amir, Snake, Sergio, and Oak. Pass the ball for Oak. Okay, and you go, you stay low. Ali, you give me Amir. He's gonna receive the ball from you.
Well, for those guys doing highlights and highlights of the game, etc., just follow Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Just follow him. You know, don't bother filming because you're going to get action like that above the ring. I just love the fact that he leads the group, leads the team, as well as his own individual contribution. You need lots of individual talent to become a World Championship and a World Cup winning team. But he makes sure this Canadian team functions as a group. It's impressive.
Lebanon now, Spellman. Saud. Ali Haydar, good look, him still being on the floor as he just dribbles down, gets it to Spellman. That's a tough shot off the mark as Bell Haynes has checked into the game where he had the hot hand. Well, everyone had the hot hand for Canada. 4 from the three-point line.
I think you said it. The only person who didn't have a hot hand was Lou Dalt, and he hasn't got his uniform on. So he can be excused. He may have had a hot hand in the warm-up. Who knows?
And we did get an update about Lou. Nothing serious, folks. Do not worry. Got a little bit of a hit in that France game, and they're just taking some precautions. but he will be available for their game against Latvia. Great shot about, finally, I want to say, from El Darwish, and he's been quiet. He's only attempted 5 shots, where he was just so much more aggressive against Latvia in game day 1. Barrett has a little bit of a height advantage, but he finds Powell underneath the basket, so a nice movement leads to a nice bucket by Canada. And Spellman now, easy call for the referee, and late rotation there by Canada is gonna give a 3-point opportunity. Spellman, good job taking the contact and finishing inside. Alexander and Ejim into the game for Canada and make that a 3-point play for Spellman, and he now has 8 points on the game.
And there are better 8 points than his 18 points on in game day 1 for me. He's really, he has had a lot more, he's been more productive in other ways as well as his points.
Well, let's not forget, 9 of those points came in the last 2 minutes. Yeah. Barrett, his 3-point shot is good. El Darwish hit 1-3 this quarter. Ooh, nice move, shakes the defense. He goes in and finishes off the glass. Great take for him, so that's 5 points now for him. I just like him playing more aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Arachi's not in the game.
Brooks, oh, sweet baseline and an easy finish for him.
It's almost like he only has to play aggressive when Arachi's not in the game. They've got to find a way to get those two to be aggressive together as a unit. Brooks doesn't have that problem.
Spellman, no good. Nice offensive rebound put back there by Adi Hadar. You see moments of Lebanon where you say, you know what, this is a good team. Can they put it together for 40 minutes? Defensively, I think they're lacking a little bit. And almost a big-time throwdown there. But no, it's going to be a foul, so Alexander will go to the free throw line for Canada. And you see Brooks along with Barrett go to the bench, and Scrub and Alexander Walker check into the game. And second one rolls in and out. So Lebanon. You talk about Phil Scrub and what he has done as we see him leave his feet there on the shot fake. Number 23 for Canada. He is, I believe, if I did my research correctly, the only guy on this World Cup roster who played in every qualification game for Canada.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
So and that's not, every qualification game. I mean, he probably is Canada's most capped player on this 12-man squad, if I'm not mistaken. We'll find that research for you, but he has represented Canada in a lot of tournaments. I mean, he was there back in 2019. Before that, he has been at every qualifications. He's been at AmeriCup championships for them. One of their definite reliable players who his number is called and he's arriving.
Absolutely. He's probably there before his number's called.
He's already in the gym waiting for everyone else to show up.
Absolutely. And one of his contributions to this group, apart from being an excellent player, is that national team experience. Because it is different. And even like the RJ Barrett discussion about, you know, he won a world championship as an age group player. That experience, there's not a lot of Canadian players who have that experience. So it's invaluable because it's not the same as your club week in, week out stuff. It's a different pressure. You have to put up with different things. It's a different, and you got someone like him around, you can always refer to him.
Well, Canada awarded another free throw because they were saying a Lebanon player came in before the ball hit the rim. And that's why we saw that extra free throw as Phil Scrubb. I talked about him. And he is going to go to the free throw line for a possible three-point play. Actually the only player on this Canadian roster who went to university in Canada at Carleton. Those of you who follow Canadian hoops, University of Carleton has been a big-time basketball school for a lot of Canadian talent.
They didn't lose for so long, right?
Years.
Years. I mean, it was
years.
Absolute years.
Yeah. As you see Coach Jad El-Haj giving some communication there to his players. And Jordi Fernandez always looks serious. He doesn't crack a smile often. But he has to be happy with the way that his team played against France and then the way that his team has come out and played in this game against Lebanon.
He's in his office. This is his office. He'll be looking at the performance. He won't worry about the result in the terms of the margin. He's looking at how they're playing and what they said they would do and have they done it.
And if they got better, because you know that's a big. He knows that they haven't been together long. Ooh, okay, El Darwish, great take by him. And you know it is so important because they haven't spent a lot of time together. You know they started at the beginning of August. They did have quite a few preparation games and good preparation games. But as far as this group playing and practicing together, you know, these 12 men and this coaching staff, it has been a short amount of time. You know, he says I arrived a few weeks ago, a couple months ago now, took on the job. And it is so important as every game goes, and not every game, even on their off days, they need to get better. They need to get better together. And nice penetration as Ejim then finds Alexander inside, and an easy two-point bucket for him. So nice second half, or third quarter, I should say, for El Darwish, number 9 from Lebanon. As Hadar, shot fake, tough shot off the backboard, no good. And I imagine Canada are going to take the last shot. Well, they finished the first half with a shot at the buzzer from 3, and they finished the third quarter with a three-point bucket from 3, as you see the little shot fake side step, and it is good by Alexander Walker. And Canada have not cooled off. They lead Lebanon 48-100 at the end of 30 minutes.
Rotating so we don't all play 10 straight minutes, okay? Good. So what we're doing now is Zach, you'll be here. And
well, those numbers, as you say, they didn't exactly cool down as we thought they might. 67% from 3, 76 from 2, 100 points in 3 quarters of basketball for Canada. Here's the best plays of the third quarter. Well, here's that crazy 3 from the story really for Lebanon at that time of the game, as Zainoun with the, I think at that point led all scorers for the Lebanon. Hadn't missed from the field, but it didn't matter who came in. And nothing changed. It was always relentless as a group. And you just heard before we cut to the highlights of that third quarter that Coach Fernandez is just going to use the 6 players that haven't played as much in this fourth quarter, is what he sort of said. He'll just rotate one at a time so no one has to play 10 straight. I mean, the other interesting thing is every now and again he's like giving us a little glimpse of running the zone.
Yeah.
He tried to play R.J. Barrett in the middle of a big middle of a 1-2-2 zone, dropped into a 3-2. He's obviously in his own mind thinking, well, what do I need later in the tournament? What do I need against perhaps, you know, some of the teams that are going to be able to contain us a little bit? What do we need to have a different look? And that's another example of how Coach Fernandez is looking at this as a whole tournament. And you've got to give him a lot of credit for the way he is taking every opportunity. This is part of prep for him now. Interesting to see where they end up in this fourth quarter in terms of points and margins.
Edey in the game now, and little turnaround jump. Hook shot jumper for him is good.
Adia's had a really nice second half. He's worked hard on the glass. You know, that's why he's the captain. Yeah, he's showing this team he's got to keep working.
Shot clock, and not sure they're aware. Mazier takes Edey. Do they get it off in time? They say it was good, but shot's no good. So now Canada, Alexander Walker, no, was the intended recipient, but Saud there read the pass well and comes up with an easy steal and 2-point bucket for him. So I would say Lebanon's kind of in a zone as they go inside to the big man. No good there. It's tipped, but ball will stay with Canada.
Zach Edey went to 224. He's got to play 224. It's a couple of times he's ended up with a ball below his shoulders and lets everyone else play with it. Wow. Bell Haynes showing him has just been, he's like a shooting machine out there this game. He's got it all programmed in. It's just push the button, shoot, push the button, shoot. He's looked very, very impressive.
Hadar's shot off the mark as Bell Haynes comes down with a rebound and finds Edey following behind him. And basket's no good, but a foul's going to be called, so he's going to go to the free throw line. So we got our research done, and I was right. Phil Scrubb, most capped games for this Canadian team at 64. And I mean, that's the most capped by a lot. The second one is the captain, Kelly Olynyk, who played on the senior team for the first time back in 2009, played on that 2010 team at the World Cup. He's at 47 cap games. So when I mentioned, I said when they call him, they're ready to go. You're right. They don't even need to call him. He's already in the gym.
He's on speed dial.
He's on speed dial. And a nice offensive rebound from the free throw line as Alexander's three-point shot. Alexander Walker, three-point shot is good. And penetration is a Dean. Oh, shots blocked, and now Canada, it's a 4-on-3. And he already made one the last time down, no good. Easy offensive rebound is Alexander that time, though. And now we're gonna have a timeout by Coach Jad El-Haj from Lebanon.
Well, Carl Alexander's done really well. I'm gonna push that done really well button again. And his those people at Hapoel Tel Aviv, where he's going to be going next season, are going to be licking their lips at the prospect of what he can do for them.
Well, I thought it was going to be difficult for Canada to keep up their shooting percentage from the three-point range. They shot 61 at halftime. They're shooting 67% at the end of 3 quarters. Well, let's listen in.
No transition. They missed the free throws. They got the rebound. Again, 1 3. Okay? They have a huge one. Let's start 1 to 2. When they put the ball on corners, we go 2 3. Okay? Front him and behind him. Front him and behind him. Give me one side. Right side. Hey, I want Wael here. Amir here. Wael.
One of the other great things I think that this Canadian team's been able to do, and coaches done specifically, if there's anyone who didn't look that comfortable with how he was playing, maybe it was RJ Barrett. So what do they do during that third quarter? They run, they're getting him the basketball, they're trying to get him into rhythm from the perimeter. I mean, obviously, 17 points today, 3 from 6. That 1 for 7 from the three-point line is going to hurt him like it did hurt him from the game before. And they're finding ways to do everything they can to get them ready for the last stages of this tournament. It's really, really impressive to see the way that they're going about their business. I mean, Spellman again back in the game, taking some responsibility for Lebanon. But that relentless defense just comes up with another stop.
Got the offensive rebound stripped away, and Lebanon. Spellman stops, pops his three-point shot in front of the iron, and Alexander with the rebound. And miscommunication, ball goes out of bounds, so ball back to Lebanon. Arakshi, shot clock winding down, finds Spellman, takes the contact and somehow finishes in the lane. So we talked about it a lot today because, for me, he was a non-factor against Latvia. You needed more from him, and we expected more going into that Latvia game, and so I guess we were disappointed, but a great second game, a great performance. This is kind of the player that I think we both expected, right?
Yeah, in many ways, in a more difficult game for him, because athletically, it's a bigger challenge for him today. And I do think, even though we know he's a really good shooter, he's got great touch, mid-range, three-point line, you'd like to see him do more of that, because there's no one else on his team that can do it in the way that he can, because he's got the physicality to absorb the bang.
Yeah, he does. Alexander Walker. Zone now. They go inside to Edie. Edie takes the contact and finishes easily. And I mean, how do you stop that? You try and deny him the ball, I guess.
No, if he gets into the rhythm on that shot, it's like a Jabbar skyhook. How do you stop it? Is he going to make it or miss it? You just have to bang him before he gets the ball, and he really makes that shot automatically.
Well, what a game by that man as he knocks down another three, maybe not as spectacular as it was before, as Alexander Walker, wow, this is just like a shooting contest going on right now. So Zaynoun, I was talking about him and his great game that he's had so far, and then Canada, gosh, they've just been so hot all game long. And wow! So actually, with that assist from Alexander Walker to Alexander, that is the 38th assist in this game for Canada. And I don't think it's going to stop here, but that is a FIBA World Cup record, 38 assists in one game, and there's still 5 minutes left. This Canadian team, I feel like, are going to continue to break records, and they've already broken one World Cup record.
And you know what? There's all sorts of cliches. That's the sort of record. That's the sort of record that coaches like you breaking.
That one for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I don't think I'm not sure anyone knows, but 38 assists. A nice follow by Spellman off of Zainoun's miss there.
He's, you know, another good sign for Lebanon and for Omari Spellman particularly. Getting some offensive glass there. They're the play he needs to help Lebanon wherever he can.
Nice cut by Ejim as he has an easy 2-point basket. Canada now with 119 points on another assist. So I think we're just going to be counting records for Canada. And great job there is Gökçen. I wonder what Canada's record for points is. I don't think I know that off the top of my head. And Phil Scrubs shot off the mark, but an offensive rebound is turned over. Rakshi takes a little bit of contact. They got looks. He just knocked down one. Why don't you make that two? No, back iron. Edie there with the defensive rebound. And we have just under 4 minutes left.
Well, they scored 128 when they had their biggest winning margin, was 90 points, but that was a long time ago in the 90s.
You mean these guys weren't even born yet?
There are some guys out there, not Phil Scrub, but there are some.
Not Phil Scrub, yeah.
There are some guys out there on the floor that might not have been born. That's absolutely well. Edie definitely not. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of those things that people talk a lot about. Coaches hate people talking a lot about it, but I mean, in terms of biggest winning margins, I mean, in the 21st century, it was 63 points. That was Brazil over Egypt in 2014, and Canada are pretty close to that right now.
Ejim shot off the mark, but smallest guy on the floor comes up the rebound, Bell Haynes. Nice cut to Alexander, and he's going to be fouled. The Spellman says, I don't think so. I think I got a ball. Doesn't matter because the referee says, nope, it was a foul. So Alexander earns himself a trip to the free throw line.
Well, Canada make a habit of these record those, you know, in terms of most three-pointers in the last World Cup when they had, you know, the big win in Shanghai. And it's when they run and play, they've got some real offensive talent. The difference here is they share the ball. I mean, this is where highlights should include the 5 passes before it.
Out of bounds play, and I'm sure Coach Jordi Fernandez cannot be happy about that. That's a little bit of a mental breakdown there defensively by Canada. It was off of a made free throw.
It's that boy Zainoun again. You know, he's had a game for him.
He's had a great game. Edie, they go inside, and he flushes it home. Spellman takes Edie off the dribble, and that's going to be his 3rd and 1 in this game. So he'll get to go to the free throw line again. So good job by him, and he's made his free throws. 2 for 2. As we see the hammer home by Edie. He'll be an interesting player for Canada to see how he develops. I believe he's going back, right, to Purdue, plays at Purdue.
Yeah.
Boilermaker. Yeah, you know, see how his professional career takes off, because you don't see a lot of big men like him anymore. I mean, you do, but they're not as many.
Yeah, that type.
That type, yes. Who really, they play inside the key. Maybe he'll develop a game and start to become, you know, outside shooter. Ejim. 3-point shot from the corner is good. And they are still in the 60s as far as percentage from the 3-point range. They have 18 to 29. Nice take there by Lebanon. And the Lebanon fans, I mean, they have been standing and cheering all game long, even though their team is losing 68 to 126. They're committed to supporting this team.
And they're still playing hard. They come up with a steal. And you can hear them.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm watching, you know, not just the Lebanon fans. I mean, I think some of the Indonesian fans who are here, they're also enjoying the show that both teams are putting on. As right in front of us, we have the VIP seats, and they are off their feet. Well, how about this? I'm pretty sure Coach Fernandez is not going to be happy. Well, they got lucky there. And nice hustle as Lebanon now going to their bench and playing all of their bench players, as we see a couple players who have not played much in this tournament in the game.
Al-Kahari, yeah, Al-Kahari gets in the game, and
yeah, 0-0, Mark Al-Kahari, and also number 6, Jad Khalil, excuse me, Khalil. Spellman, tough shot, no good. Edie with the defensive rebound. Bill Haynes now is fouled by Zainu, who's had a great game. El Darwish had that great third quarter, and we see Wael Arakshi on the bench there. Against a good team, you have to have your go-to players have big games for 40 minutes, not quarters, right?
Yeah, all of them.
And all of them, yeah.
Well, we mentioned, I feel like Lebanon had a gap from international tournaments, etc. They were always one of the better teams in the Asia region. As Edie's just got that little jump hook off Pat. I mean, it's a joy to see him just be so smooth with that. And you do miss it, that regular competition. They've already shown they're on the way back. And they can get better for this. I know it doesn't feel like that at the moment for them because they're on the wrong end of a, big 1-2-8, it's a 70-point margin. But you can get better and move on every time.
Three-point shot is good by Gökçen.
Gökçen has actually shot the three ball really well.
I was going to say 2 of 3 from three-point range. I feel like he should be 3 of 4. Maybe one of them was a deep 2. And Alexander's three-point shot is off the mark as Canada still shooting the 3 exceptionally well, 60%. And quick three-point shot by Gökçen is no good, and now Canada, they got to get it over half. I can't imagine them scoring or needing to score or wanting to score, so they're probably just going to let this clock wind out as the fans loved it, we loved it, and that is going to be it, folks. What a win for Canada. I questioned how they would come out after such a big win over France, and that was a statement win. Can you have 2 statement wins in a row? Well, I think this is it. 128 for Canada, Lebanon 73.
Well, you asked, could you have 2 statement wins? It's a different statement, though. I mean, the different statement is that they're getting very used to playing tournament basketball right now. And Coach Fernandez went a lot deeper into his bench for a lot longer in this one, and his team didn't miss a beat. You got to credit the Lebanon. They stuck at it. They had a really decent fourth quarter. They continued to challenge Canada, and don't forget, 8-8 at the start. I know that sort of stuff happens, but as we said at the time, they poked the bear too early and woke them up, and then from that point on, to say the least, that was a phenomenal performance. And this is the other thing they're beginning to do. Like, they are developing this affinity with the crowd here in Jakarta. I mean, there's a big NBA following.
We saw Spain do it last night, right?
It's what it's about. The kids love it. It's one of the things at basketball, you got so much access to some of the best players in the world. So we're going to get a chance to see the best plays of the fourth quarter. There's plenty of highlights. It must be hard for these guys to edit out the highlights, to be fair. And they do it really well and really quickly. But here are the stats. They kept it at 60%. They missed a couple of threes toward the end. How bad was that?
Kept it at 60%.
43 assists. I mean, well, 43 assists.
Obviously, for me, it's the 43 assists. That's the biggest standout thing, because it's 43 assists on 50 made field goals.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. the best teams don't make tough shots. The best teams move the ball and get good shots and know who's supposed to take the right shots. And that's where they seem to have got very quickly. And as we said during the game, it's not just against Lebanon, who are trying to work their way back into world levels and trying to build all the time. It's against France as well.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a team who had a lot of assists tonight. They had a lot of assists against France.
Yep.
So, you know, for the Canadian fans that have made the trip here, for those watching at home back in Canada at some ridiculous time of the morning, it was worth getting up early because that's some entertainment. And you've got to love the way this team appears to want to be a team.
Yeah, you said it. I think, you know, it's hard to put a team of NBA players together. They're young. Let's not forget they have some veterans, and I'm sure their veterans are helping the younger players. You know, this is what international basketball is all about. This is what it means to wear Canada across your country. And they've been building on this the last 3-4 years, and it's a goal for them to get better every day. It's a goal for them, you know, possibly, I think going into the tournament, they said if we can continue to improve, we can medal at this event. But hey, why not go ahead and try and get that ticket to the Olympics? That's the biggest thing for Canada right now. They haven't played in the Olympics since 2000. And right now, for me, this is a team that can medal.
Well, and they've made it, the good thing, on top of everything, you mentioned it, I was so pleased you mentioned it before the game as well. This isn't something that's just happened, you know, like,
no, yeah.
You know, they sat down and said, what do we have to do? And they brought Nick Nurse into head coach. Obviously, a profile of an NBA winning coach helps, but he's also a coach that's had international experience in London and at the Olympics with the Great Britain team. And he has set a tone in a path that he's obviously, unfortunately, unable to complete in some ways, but he's passed that baton on, and that, you know, and Jordi Fernandez has picked it up, and they've built on that. You know, it's a great performance by Canada. Really pleased for them.
Well, this is the way Group H looks right now. Canada at the top, 2-0. Latvia 1-0. Lebanon now 0-2. Latvia and France coming up tonight at 8:30. From us here in Jakarta, thanks for joining in, and we will be back later for that Latvia and France game. Thank you.